Greetings, Acolytes of the Force, and welcome back to the channel. Recently, we did a video detailing why Darth Vader was beaten so definitively by Obi-Wan in their final duel in the latest episode of Kenobi. As usual, spoilers ahead for the Kenobi season finale. We had mentioned in that video that it was primarily Vader's emotional state that made him so much weaker against Obi-Wan, but there is something also to be said about Obi-Wan's sudden bursts of energy and power towards the end of the duel. When the Force swelled around Kenobi and he gave Vader a piece of his own medicine by barraging him in hail of rocks before beating him down in a way that we have never seen from the Jedi Master before. This being exceptionally rare for Obi-Wan Kenobi, and this is definitively the most powerful we've ever seen him. So, why is this? Well, we believe that we have a theory and an answer to that very question. Just before this, when it seemed all hope was lost and Vader had collapsed an avalanche on top of Kenobi within a pit, seemingly putting him into his grave by burying him alive, Obi-Wan remembered his duty to the Skywalker children, to protect Luke, to hold up his promise to Leia. With a surge of energy, he breaks forth from his impending doom and faces Vader on his terms, bashing his chest plate mercilessly, throwing him around with his use of the Force, and sending a storm of boulders his way, all before opening up his mask to see the scarred and disfigured face of his former apprentice. This was an impressive display for any Jedi Master, any Jedi in general. But one though that was quite shocking to see from Obi-Wan Kenobi, who was never really noted for his gifts in the Force or his offensive style of fighting, as Obi-Wan is known as the master of defense. So what was with this offensive barrage and sudden overcharge in the Force? Growing up in the temple, it was a known fact that Obi-Wan's midichlorian count was on the lower side. This caused him to struggle with the Force a little more than a normal Jedi, and he had to work much harder than everyone else. However, this made Kenobi strong by the time the Clone Wars had concluded, as he was highly formidable and was one of the best lightsaber duelists the Jedi had to offer, not to mention one of the most talented Force wielders. Obi-Wan's skill and hard work had paid off when he survived and triumphed his duel against the Dark Chosen One on Mustafar. No other Jedi besides that patient, preserving Obi-Wan could have survived that duel with Vader, much less come out on top. In this moment on Mustafar, Obi-Wan did not beat Anakin through sheer strength in the Force, but he simply backpedaled and waited until he could create an opening and put an end to the Chosen One. This, however, was not the cause for Obi-Wan's victory in this latest duel. Kenobi re-established himself as the true master between the two of them, as he came in full force, taking the offensive as he believed this would be his last stand anyway, and he wanted to hopefully end all of this torment once and for all, or die trying. Though Obi-Wan put up a valiant fight, even Darth Vader acknowledging his strength had returned, it was for naught, as Vader still won the duel through his sheer amount of Force power. Just like Obi-Wan did for Anakin, Darth Vader left Obi-Wan for dead, which was his first major mistake. Obi-Wan sat in the pit of rubble, barely keeping it held up with his Force, as the weight bore down on him more and more. He thought back to all of the memories of the Skywalker children, and was filled with a sense of duty and a powerful feeling of the light side of the Force. You see, here's the one thing that the Jedi have neglected for countless millennia that the Sith know the truth about. The most powerful source from which to draw upon the Force itself is one's passion. The Sith only narrowly find the use in passion through pain, anger, revenge, or ambition. However, a Jedi Master Luke Skywalker would find this interpretation different. Luke taught his students to draw upon the passion of justice, of compassion, and duty, because Luke knew the truth when he discovered it whilst trying to turn Vader back to the light. The most powerful source of all light side energy is that of love. Love and duty. Even though it may sound super cheesy, it was love that brought Darth Vader back to the light, and love that gave Obi-Wan a supercharge in this moment to break free and triumph over the Sith Lord, who knew only pain. In this crucial moment, Obi-Wan's love for the Skywalker twins and regret was too powerful for Vader's hatred and pain. This is also likely the moment where Obi-Wan fully comes to terms with the creation of Darth Vader and the death of Anakin. This was the same reason that Obi-Wan ultimately bested Maul on Naboo. He loved his master, and when he fell to the Sith assassin's blade, Obi-Wan had become angry, but his emotions clouded him, and he failed to kill Maul on the Sith's terms. And so, Obi-Wan sat there dangling over the chasm. He drew upon love from his master, and focused within the Force, and was able to cut Darth Maul in half. Something that we've learned from Obi-Wan: if you give him a second chance, he is going to make you pay for it. This is the same burst of power that happened in Obi-Wan Kenobi when the Force swelled within Kenobi. It aided him in their final titular battle. It was this positive passion that supercharged Obi-Wan in the light side. Since the Jedi normally only teach patience and mindfulness without emotion, it makes the Jedi more susceptible to falling to the dark side. They learn all too quickly that in the heat of the moment, when those that love are lost and at stake, patience won't win the day, only passion will. This is the slippery slope that the Jedi do not teach to use to their advantage, only to avoid it. What they don't know though, or perhaps simply neglect, is that passion doesn't always stem from a negative place, quite the opposite in fact. The Sith twist and pervert emotions in order to force their own will over the Force and the galaxy as a whole, and command the dark side with a corrupted might. However, the way that the Jedi viewed the balance in the dark side, the original Jedi that is, as a whole, it was not a white or a black, but in shades of gray, without delving too far into the darkness. And in this moment, Obi-Wan Kenobi found that perfect shade of gray. Obi-Wan struck the sweet spot of the Force right between the balance of the light and the dark, when you use your passion and love to become a servant and will of the Force, which imbues you with power that can be used to triumph even over the Chosen One himself. This was Obi-Wan Kenobi's last stand, and it was his passion that in the end ultimately saved him. In the end, it was Obi-Wan's passion that triumphed over the hatred that Vader had for him. And as we detailed in yesterday's video, Vader will come to learn that when he is more composed and in control of his emotions, using them to fuel him, but not corrupt him entirely, is when Vader too is at his most powerful. This is the lesson that Obi-Wan Kenobi has learned. This is why he is still the master at the time of the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, and why Vader is the learner. So, friends and students of the Force, what are your thoughts on this interpretation? And what are your thoughts on why Obi-Wan was so powerful in the Kenobi finale? And what other topics would you like to see explored about Obi-Wan in the future? As always, my friends, thank you guys so much for watching the channel. May the Force be with you, and have a great day.